Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. USD suffering again as markets take a risk-positive view of the FIDA's historic shift. Video analysis. http ntvforex.com. News ID AA37768 28/20/20 11:16:58 AM. Market overview. In the build-up to Fed Chair Powell's speech, the chatter was whether the Fed would meet the market's dovish expectations. Reaction in the wake of the announcement was one of uncertainty, with significant swings across major Forex. However, coming into today's session there is a sense of risk-positive and dollar-negative forces playing out. The crux of Powell's speech is that the Fed will be on hold with ultra-loose monetary policy for some time to come. In shifting to an average inflation targeting system, the FOMC will allow inflation to rise above 2% for some time to counter periods where inflation has been below the 2% mandated target. It will also allow unemployment to run lower for longer, the second part of its mandate to drive a strong labor market. Bond markets have reacted, in a bear steepening where shorter-dated yields, the interest rates end of the curve, remain relatively anchored whilst longer-dated yields, the growth and inflation end of the curve, are rising. This is risk-positive ultimately, and if US rates are not going up anytime soon, the dollar also suffers. This is looking to develop once more today. Equities futures are strong, whilst the dollar is weaker across major Forex. To complicate things a little on dollar-yen, add in the resignation of Japanese Prime Minister Abe due to health reasons. The yen is gaining some strength off this. Wall Street markets closed a little mixed last night. Nasdaq losing ground, Dow solidly higher with the S&P 500 0.2% at 3,484. US futures are gaining ground though today, with the E-mini S&P's 0.6%. In Asian, a mixed session, with the Nikkei 1.4% whilst Shanghai Composite was 1.6%. In Europe, there is a mildly risk-positive bias, with FTSE futures and DAX futures around 0.3% higher. In Forex, there is a weaker USD across the board, with AUD and NZD outperforming, along with GBP doing well. In commodities, the weaker dollar is also helping gold and silver regain some positive momentum, whilst oil is just trying to hold ground after 2 sessions of losses. US inflation is the focus to the economic calendar today, but there is also a clutch of Eurozone sentiment data for August to keep an eye out for, all at 1000 BST. Eurozone economic sentiment is expected to improve slightly to 85.0 from 82.3 in July, whilst the final reading of Eurozone consumer confidence is expected to be unrevised at 14.7 from 15.0 in July. Eurozone industrial sentiment is expected to improve to 14.3 from 16.2 in July, whilst Eurozone services sentiment is also expected to improve to 24.4 from 26.1 in July. Into the afternoon, the FIDA's preferred inflation metric, the U.S. core personal consumption expenditure, is at 1330 BST and is expected to improve by 0.5% on the month in July, improving the year-on-year reading to 1.2% from 0.9% in June. Final Michigan sentiment for August is at 1500 BST and is expected to be unrevised at 72.8 from 72.8 prelim August and up from 72.5 final July. NBSP chart of the day. AGBP JPY sterling yen has broken out decisively above resistance at 139.75. This barrier was the old June high, which has been repeatedly acting as a ceiling over the past couple of weeks, until Wednesday's closing breakout. However, yesterday's decisive bull candle has now cleared the resistance with a near 6-month high and is the next step forward in recovery. There has been a strong uptrend of the past 2 months with a succession of higher lows, the latest at 138.25 last week, but the market is now using NBSP the 139.75 breakout as the basis of support. The uptrend comes in at 138.75 today, whilst the rising 21-day moving average today around 139.10 has become a great basis of support now. Momentum indicators have turned bullish again, with upside potential too. We now look to use near-term weakness as a chance to buy. With Prime Minister Abiy's resignation this morning, we could see a near-term slip back, but an initial buy zone is between 139.75–140.20, whilst anything towards the 21-day MA is also a buying opportunity. Below 137.75 would be a disappointment for the bulls now. Moving through 141.00 early today, the next real resistance is not until 144–145. NBSP Brent crude oil. Once more the bulls have been unable to drive the market for a decisive breakout. Shying away from the resistance at $46.25, leaving a slightly lower high at $46.10 and posting two successive negative closes looks to be a disappointment. However, the outlook remains bullish. Buying into weakness has proved to be consistently the right strategy for oil over recent months, as the albeit shallow uptrend has continued. The uptrend sits around $44 today, whilst the support band $43.60–$44.25 means that this is a good area of support now. The rising 21-day moving average today around $44.95 has also consistently been a good basis of support too. A slide back below $43.60 would be a disappointment near term, and reduce the conviction of the positive outlook, but only below $41.30 would be a decisive shift in outlook to the downside. We see this slide back into support as another opportunity to buy for pressure on $46.25 and higher in due course. The next real resistance beyond $48.40, a minor old low, is $53.10–$53.90. NBSP Dow Jones Industrial Average. A broadly risk-positive assessment of Fed Chair Powell's speech has allowed the Dow to climb further. Another positive close at multi-month highs, and the market is now trading inside the key February bear gap at 28,400–28,890. A closure of this gap would put the Dow on an imminent path to test the all-time high of 29,568. US futures are looking positive again early today, and the outlook remains one to buy into weakness. The support is building between 28,000 and now 28,400 to leave this as a near-term buy zone now. All trends are strong, as are momentum indicators, even if the RSI is a little stretched. Buying between 28,000 and 28,400 would be ideal, but the first key area of support is now 27,525–27,580. NBSP. Read more analysis here. Euro USD, GBP USD, USD JPY, Gold. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors.